explanation, any prior discussions.
They will end up saying, we'll take an aspirin and we're going to take it. We didn't have to get rid of it. We didn't have to get rid of
assessor's request. We don't know the exact circumstances, but we're going to make this an assessor has
May I have your attention, please? If you haven't done so at this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers and please sign in. Thank you.
And so if we prove it, we're validating.
Good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, March 11th, 2020, and the time is 10:03 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Smarty.
Here.
Commissioner Waxback.
Here.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Here.
Commissioner Barcher.
Here.
Commissioner Wood.
Here.
5 present and a quorum.
Thank you. There being no old business to take up at this time, we'll consider change orders.
Good morning, Commissioners. Gordy and Ponte on behalf of Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 897 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 874 and place 23 in pending status. Staff requests approval of these change orders.
Could you repeat those numbers again? I want to make sure I got them correct.
897 total, approved 874, and place 23 in pending.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept staff recommendations and approve 874 change orders and place 23 in pending status.
Second.
Commissioner Barcher.
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
Chairman Shamari.
Yes. We'll now consider prior pending change orders.
Gordy and Ponte on behalf of Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 19 prior pending change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve all 19. Staff requests approval of these prior pending change orders.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we accept staff recommendation and approve the 19 prior pending change orders as submitted.
Second.
Commissioner Barcher.
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shamari.
Yes. We'll now consider tax sale cancellations.
Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 1 tax sale cancellation request from East Baton Parish. This was an office error in which the property was honestly sold due to the rightful owner not receiving the tax bill. Staff requests approval of this tax sale cancellation.
Make a motion, we approve the East Baton Rouge Parish tax sale cancellation as recommended and reviewed by staff.
Second.
Commissioner Barcher.
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers.
Yes.
And Chairman Shamari.
Yes. All right, we'll now move into the appeal portion of the docket today. I'll ask anyone who's planning on testifying at the table this morning to please come forward and be sworn in as a witness.
Y'all all done this before?
No, how's it go?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? One at a time.
I do. George Wallace, Louisiana Tax Commission.
Charles Dickey, I do. Russell Brown, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. It is the Tax Commission's policy to accept all documents into the record that will timely be filed in accordance with the Commission's rules and regulations. This will be done at the conclusion of all hearings on today's document. Accordingly, there is no need to formally offer or introduce the exhibits into the record during your appeal hearing. However, if you intend to object to the submission of any of the opposing parties' exhibits, you must notify the Commission at the start of your appeal hearing. As a reminder, this is an administrative hearing, and as such, the rules of evidence are relaxed. The Commission is inclined to review and consider all evidence submitted and to accept such evidence into the record. All right, the first item on the docket this morning for appeal is the appeal of King Cape Real Estate LLC versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22171-008. Let the record reflect that there appears to be no one here this morning on behalf of King Cape Real Estate. So his appeal form, King Cake Real Estate is requesting a fair market value of $55,000. So, all right, since no one's here on their behalf, let's go ahead and get from the assessor's office. Mr. Alvarez.
Good morning, Commissioners. So this one, I'm trying to find pardon me, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the appeal limit for this. We have no objection to the value of staff's recommendation. We think that that is a fair and accurate picture of market value. And it's my understanding that Mr. Keith from our office contacted the taxpayer. I don't know if he was successful in discussing any kind of settlement with them.
So the staff appraisal is at $59,000. Taxpayer requested $55,000.
Yes, we think that we approaching this to settle for the staff's recommendations. I think it's around $13 a square foot, which is we feel is more in line with what still is in line with the neighborhood value.
Okay. All right. So you're acceptable of the staff appraisal of $59,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm clear on that. Okay. Do we have any questions? Ms. Walsh, you're up.
Okay. I appraised the subject property January 29th, 2019 for $59,000.
Do you have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, if I'm in line, I would move on docket 19-22171-008 that we accept the LTC staff appraisal, set the land value at $59,000 for a total market value of $59,000.
Commissioner Berger?
Yes.
Commissioner Waxback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shavardi?
Yes. Next item on the appeal docket, the appeal of King Cake Real Estate LLC versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22171-009.
Good morning, Commissioners. So
Yeah, let me just say for the record that no one is here this morning on behalf of King Cake Real Estate. However, they are requesting a value in their appeal form of $55,000. Mr. Alvarez, you're up.
Good morning, Commissioners. So we agree with the overall value rate of the Louisiana Tax Commission staff recommendation. However, there's an issue with the square footage. The square footage on our website was understated. Doing further research from the active sale and the square map, the actual square footage of the lots should be 55,643 square feet at $13 a square foot, would put it roughly around $75,000 or $76,000. I got my calculations correct.
How much square footage you say is the correct square footage?
5,643. I think we had initially 4,900 and some odd square feet. And we only discovered that after we did some more research using the active sale and the square map.
So it was additional information. You verified what was on the cash sale?
Yes,
So
sir.
they can be wrong.
Yes, what's in the cash sale and what's on the square map are both in, they both support each other. Our initial square footage in our system was wrong.
And how much a square foot, you said 5,643 square feet, and how much a square
I
foot?
think it's $13 a square foot.
$13 even?
I think we came up with like $13, but $13 a square foot. I mean, it's pretty, in the same ballpark.
And that's a value of approximately $75,000?
Let's see.
73.
73, 359.
73,
359.
359. So, guess,
And we were initially at 74,000, so that's right in line with our
Yeah.
valuations.
so close enough basically to hold up the board of review if that's the wishes of the commission.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Wallace, what do you,
I
can't
appraised this,
opine on what we've just been told?
I appraised the property January 1st of 2019 based on the original square footage, with the updated correct square footage at, 5643, I would still be at the $13 a square foot. And it would be 73,359, or I would probably round it to 73,000 for appraisal purposes, but that's,
So you didn't measure the lot, obviously.
I didn't measure, I used the size of the site that was on the assessor's website.
And how did you determine that the square footage was incorrect?
We went ahead and measured it using the top-down pictometry, and then found there was a discrepancy, and then did some more research and went to the clerk of court to pull the actual sale, and then pulled the block maps from zoning.
So it matched up with what your map shows and what was contained in the act of sale.
Yes, sir. Our initial valuation, our initial square footage, I'm not sure where that came from. I think that was our historical square footage. That was actually incorrect.
Okay. And I assume you corrected that on your records.
Yes, sir.
All right, do you have any questions, anybody? Motion?
I'm ready to make a motion to you'll accept it. I'm in the matter of docket number 19221711009. I would move that we uphold the parish board of review, fair market value land at 74,100.
Second.
Commissioner Berger?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Sharp?
Yes. All right, now, work with me on this, because I'm a little confusion to make sure I don't skip something.
Yes, sir.
Item C has been withdrawn, is that correct?
I believe so, yes.
Yes. Okay, item D, appeal item D has been settled.
Yes, sir.
That's Nesbitt Plessy Holdings. Next item on the agenda, item E, the appeal of Lucas Davenport. I think we'll go through on that, and then you can tell us what you know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next item on the appeal docket is item E, the appeal of Lucas Davenport versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22175-048. And again, no one is here this morning representing Mr. Davenport. Although on his appeal form, he did request a value of $253,500. So, Ms. Alvarez, go ahead and make the presentation.
Thank you, Chair. So I went ahead and reviewed our value, spoke to the taxpayer. We have a verbal agreement to settle for staff's recommended value. However, I was not able to receive the executed settlement agreement in time. But it is our intent to, or was our intent to settle for staff's value.
So the assessor's office is willing to accept the staff appraisal
Yes, sir.
of $295,000.
Yes.
And your testimony is you spoke to Mr. Davenport, and he was agreeable to that also?
Yes, sir. Well, I spoke to Mr. Davenport's wife, and she agreed to it. I emailed her the settlement agreement, so I
Okay.
just haven't received
Just
it.
haven't received it yet.
Yes.
All right, very good. Mr. Dickey?
Charles Dickey for the Louisiana Tax Commission. I personally inspected the property at 519 Belleville Street. Met with the taxpayer, got relevant information, and performed an appraisal using sales from the Algiers Point area, and arrived at a value of $295,000 with $48,600 allocated to the land, which is undisputed, and $246,400 to the improvements.
Do we have any questions?
Make a motion.
Sure.
Appeal of Lucas Davenport versus Holy Parish Court Review, docket number 19-22175-04A. A motion is to set the land value at $48,600, improvement value of $246,400, for a total of $295,000.
Second?
Commissioner Barcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahar?
Yes. All right, items F and G have both been settled. What is the status of the appeal, item H, Thomas Crane?
I spoke to Mr. Crane. He was in agreement with me. We were going to settle for the tax commission's recommended value. I sent him an email with a settlement agreement. I just have not received it back yet.
Okay, so the assessor's office is in agreement with the staff appraisal, which I believe is $259,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One second. And a verbal agreement with the owner, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dickey?
Charles Dickey for the Louisiana Tax Commission. I personally inspected the property at 514 Belleville Street. I met with the taxpayer who assisted me as we inspected the property and measured it. He performed a market-based approach for multifamily properties in Algiers Point, as well as an income approach, since he rents out half the side and lives in the other during half the year. The value we arrived at was $259,000, $52,800 allocated to the land, which was undisputed, $206,200 to the improvements.
Do you have any questions? Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move on docket 19-22175-073 that we accept the LTC staff appraisal, set the land value at $52,800, improvement value at $206,200 for a total market value of $259,000.
Have a second?
Commissioner Barcher?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahar?
Yes. All right, the next item on the appeal docket is the appeal of William G. Leach versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22175-075. The commission received a letter from Mr. Leach, in which dated March 2nd, 2020, in which he said, "I agree with the revised assessment of my home for $215,000, which I believe is the staff appraisal on his property." So we'll enter that into the record as well as his letter. They'll all be part of the record. Mr. Alvarez?
Excuse me. So we revalued the property, came out with a value of $255,900, which is in line with the rest of the neighborhood values. The recommendation, we feel is slightly low, however, it's still within the ballpark of the neighborhood value. We were not able to submit any exhibits to contend it, so we will be comfortable with the staff's value.
All right, so you're in agreement with the $215,000 value?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Dickey?
Charles Dickey on behalf of the Tax Commission. Excuse me. I personally inspected the property at 46 Yosemite Drive in Park Timbers section of Algiers, met with the taxpayer, did an inspection of the house, determined it was in average condition, conducted a market appraisal using similar size and condition properties in the area and arrived at a value of $215,000 with $47,900 attributable to the land, which was undisputed, and $167,100 attributable to the improvements. Regarding the value of $83 a square foot, it is slightly higher than the average of average condition sales in park timbers in the last year and a half, and slightly lower than the average for very good condition sales. So it fits right in the pocket of where you would expect it to be.
All right, do we have any questions? Have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'm ready to make a motion. I would move in docket number 1922175-075 that we set the fair market value of land at $47,900, improvements at $167,100, for a total fair market value of $215,000.
Second.
Commissioner Burchett?
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffries?
Yes.
And Chairman Shahart?
Yes. All right, item J on the docket today has been settled, that's my understanding. So we'll move on to the next item on the docket, the appeal of Anthony F. Castrogiovanni versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-22175-079. Let the record reflect that there's nobody here this morning on behalf of the property owner, taxpayer. He did submit some information regarding his property, a letter, which will be made part of the record in today's hearing. So, Mr. Alvarez, you're up.
Thank you, Commissioners. So we initially revalued the property. We came up with a value of $238,100. It was upheld by the Board of Review. It was subsequently appealed to the Tax Commission. Mr. Dickey's appraisal came in at $226, which is roughly within 5% of the Board of Review's value. We feel that his appraisal is supportive of the Board of Review's value because it's within 5%. We asked the Tax Commission not to the large value.
Questions? Mr. Dickey?
Charles Dickey for the Louisiana Tax Commission. I inspected the property at 245 Pacific Avenue, met with the taxpayer, and several subsequent conversations with him afterwards about his concerns about the value of the property. It is a rental property, a double, and did an income as well as a market approach and arrived at a value of $226,000, $41,900 allocated to the land, which was undisputed, $184,100 to the improvements. The value equates to approximately $108 a square foot, which is a little bit low based on the average sales of multifamily properties in Algiers Point, primarily due to the issues that Mr. Castrogiovanni pointed out in the documents that he submitted and what I inspected on that day.
So you inspected the property with his comments about the property in
Yes.
mind? I mean,
Yes, sir.
You were made aware of
He had sent, well, I had viewed all of that from the Board of Review's attachments prior to the meeting. We had a conversation prior to our interview. I spent about an hour with him and walked through the property, met one of his tenants and inspected the one side that was available to me. And then we had a couple of conversations after.
So you're comfortable with taking into account whatever issues the property?
I think Mr. Giovanni would have preferred me to take in more of those, but I think he owns an older home and he feels like it needs upgrades, which probably does. But as I explained to him, he's getting rent, from his tenants and has been steadily for the condition the house is in. And should he make the improvements that he wants to make, my anticipation would be that he would be eligible. In fact, he said to me he thought the rents were low that he didn't get, so he would probably be benefited from improving property and then gaining additional income.
So the rent is commensurate with the condition of the property?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Both sides of the road.
Yes, sir. Now, I met with the tenant had no problems in terms of issues with condition. You know, the plumbing all works, the electricity works, he didn't have any problems with structure. There was an issue of a repair in one wall, you know, which you would see in a 100-year-old house. That was all I observed, other than the fact that he had window units and not central air, which we accounted for in the first.
Yeah, I saw that in your report. Okay. All right, well, your value of $226,000 is, as Mr. Alvarez pointed out, within about 5% of the board reviews. So, the board reviews value and your value basically square up. So, anyway, any more questions? Mr. Jeffers, want to make a motion?
Mr. Chairman, in the matter of Anthony Castro Giovanni versus the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 19-221-75-079. Move that we accept staff's recommendation, improvement value at 184. Accept the board of review number, land value at 41,900, improvement value at 196,200, for a total of 238,100.
Second.
Commissioner Berger,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagstaff,
Yes.
Commissioner Wood,
Yes.
Commissioner Jeffers,
Yes.
and Chairman Shabari.
Yes.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
The last item on the appeal docket today has been continued. We'll now have a presentation by Michael Mathern, our Tax Commission Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Michael Mathern for the Louisiana Tax Commission. We wanted to bring you up to speed on a few things that are happening administratively within the commission. First off, you'll be happy to know in the appraisal division, on Monday, we will have filled our second appraisal position. So all appraisal positions will be filled. The gentleman will start Monday. All appraisers have been working to appraise real property in Orleans to help you get through the voluminous amount of appeals we have there. On Monday, those appraisal positions will be filled. In the Public Service Division, bank stock and insurance renderings are being received now by staff. Those values are ongoing. Other public service renderings are coming in from railroads and airlines. Administratively, staff has provided the chairman with some possible hearing dates for rules and regulations over the summer for your viewing. Mr. Rajesh Jain and I attended the Louisiana House of Representatives Appropriations Committee on Tuesday, March 3rd. A few of the questions regarding our budget and some questions regarding overall operations. The chairman and I have been invited to attend Ways and Means Committee on Monday, March 17th on the House side. And I know I will intend to go.
Tuesday, is it Tuesday the 17th?
I'm sorry, I did this week, March 17th.
Yeah, Tuesday.
It's busy, with the exception of having opened on Monday, and you can tell by the parking lot. I'm available for any questions you may have.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Thank you very much. The Tax Commission hereby accepts all pre-filed documents and all testimony into the record as taxpayer exhibit 1 in Globo, assessor exhibit 1 in Globo, and Louisiana Tax Commission staff appraiser exhibit 1 in Globo for each appeal hearing conducted today, respectfully. At this time, we will take a 5-minute break.